Hello everyone, welcome back to another Figurehead Reviews, and today we will be taking a look at the Marvel Legends Deadpool Sasquatch Build-A-Figure Wave X-Force Deadpool. We have Deadpool here in the front window box. On the side we have some artwork of him in his X-Force suit. On this side we have the same artwork. We do have the logo on the top there. And on the back we get a product shot as well as all the other figures needed in this wave. And with the product shot we get the read-up. So you need someone to do the dirty work? Great news, that's his favorite kind of work. And on the bottom we do have the UPC code for all you hunters out there. And enough about the packaging. Let's go ahead and get this open and take a look at Deadpool. And here is Deadpool out of the packaging. And, I was excited to see that this figure was going to be in this wave because, like probably many of you, I stayed up till the wee hours of the morning when the HasCon exclusive was supposed to go on sale, and finally went to bed because I realized they weren't doing it. And I checked it in the morning again at like 10 o'clock Eastern time, and it still wasn't posted. And then eventually it was posted and sold out apparently in like 8 minutes. So I was a little upset about how that rollout was. But then look at that, not so much of an exclusive anymore because here is X-Force Deadpool in front of us. And yeah, really cool figure. We'll go into some of the few gripes that I have about it. Mainly, it just seems very gummy. Everything about this one just, I don't know. He seems very, yeah, gummy is the best word I can think of for it. But we're going to go ahead and get a better look at some of those accessories that Deadpool came with, and then we'll get a better look at the figure himself. And Deadpool does come with the Build-A-Figure piece needed to complete the Sasquatch Build-A-Figure. Here we do get the head, but we'll review that when we do get a look at the full Sasquatch figure. But taking a look up close here, let's start with his toy gun that Deadpool comes with. It's, there we go, focus in. I thought that was a really clever idea to include an obvious toy gun for a character like Deadpool. You get the orange tip there. With just the comical blue color on there. So I thought that was pretty cool. And as you can see, it does fit right into the trigger hand just fine. And yeah, a little orange paint there on the grip, but that's not a big deal. But very cool. And this does just come out, and he has the holster down here, similar to the same holster that, or it is the same holster that we saw in the Juggernaut wave. And it's a little, oh boy. It's a lot stiff to try to get that in there. Wow. Well, I assume that fits in there. I might have to actually heat that up or something. I don't know. I mean, it should be able to go through, but yeah, I don't want to rub the paint off. So, yeah, he has a holster, and the gun should go in there, but that was a little tough. And then he does come with this other weapon here. Pretty, keeps the same blue. It looks like I got a little paint chip there, yeah. But just another kind of a fantasy weapon here that Hasbro gave us for him. But it works. And when I was talking about some of the gumminess, like it's kind of a flexible plastic, and I feel like the other guns didn't have that same flex to them, So you might be able to end up warping it over time. But this gun here, same thing, we can fit it in, and you can see his finger does go right on there. And you can also put it in this hand. He just doesn't have a trigger finger in this hand, so he can hold it, but he won't have the trigger finger. And then taking a look real quick, he does have his swords in the sheath there, and these are nothing new. Again, I feel like it's a more flexible material than some of the swords that we've seen in the past for Deadpool. But, boy, sorry about the focus there, guys. I don't know what's going on. There we go. It's exactly the same as the Juggernaut wave, and literally the paint on the hilt, all of it is exactly the same. But again, it's another very flexible material, and I don't know, I just don't remember the Juggernaut wave being that flexible. And getting in real close here on Deadpool, we can start to see a little bit of the paint issues that you normally find when getting in this close. Specifically right there, the black around the eyes, did not seem to go into the corners of his eyes too well. So that's a little bit of a bummer. Again, as I've said many times before, when getting this close, a lot of those details may become very obvious, but from a distance, they're not as bad. So yeah, it looks bad this close, but you know, from a distance, I didn't even notice it until I actually got him up this close anyway. So, but we do, on the detail here, we do get back the little Deadpool hood nub that we had with the Juggernaut Wave Deadpool that we did not get with the 90s Deadpool. So it is the same head sculpt. This is kind of a mixture of the two Deadpool figures. We have the neck piece there that was on the 90s Deadpool, but we have the harness. As we go down, the harness is from the Juggernaut Wave Deadpool, but it did some really good paint work, and I like the black with like the gray dry brushing on the harness. I think that looks pretty cool. I think they did a good job there. Yeah. Looking at the rest of the figure, so we got, again, just some more paint that didn't quite get into all the gaps there on his abs and ribs. Same thing on that side. So that's kind of a bummer. Little talking about that gumminess, this joint here, his arm has been kind of sticking out. Take that, you know, dryer to that. Belt is different from what we've seen from the other Deadpools. We got the little X logo there, came out. A little splotchy, not the cleanest, but yeah, you get the X logo instead of the Deadpool logo, and you get a little better look at some of that detailing I was talking about there with the black with the gray dry brushing. I think that still came out looking good, even if the X logo had some opportunities. And then they continue that theme down into his holster, which, again, this holster is reused from the Juggernaut Wave. And the line works, looks okay. You have, again, just some issues there, but nothing major. A little uneven there. And going down, we don't really have any paint here, but we do have those boot cuffs that we saw in the 90s Deadpool. And he does have some paint there on the toes and around the bottom of his feet. And without his swords in his sheath there, you can see Deadpool does come in at just about 6¼ inches tall. And taking a look at the articulation here, Deadpool is on the standard Bucky cap mold, so there's really no surprises here. He's got a head that can look up pretty far, look down pretty far. Arms rotate all the way around. They can come up. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, although this is that gummy arm. He does have wrist rotation as well as a wrist hinge. Ab crunch that can look down that far, can look back, not too far, and these can kind of get in the way. Does have waist rotation, legs come apart that much, kick forward that much, back that much. He does have the upper thigh cut, double jointed knees, boot cut, ankle that can go forward and backwards, and he does have ankle pivot. And for those of you wondering if you did want to take the head off and pop on the Juggernaut Wave unmasked head, a little stiff, but there it is. It does go on there. That's not too bad looking, actually. Seems to go on pretty nice. So if you did want to have your unmasked Deadpool, there you go. And one quick thing too, I did end up getting this gun to go into the holster, but be careful going in there, because right there at the tip or at the sight, the orange paint did come off when I put it in there. So that's kind of a little bit of a bummer, actually. So just be careful putting that in the holster, because that can happen. And for a comparison, here is the X-Force Deadpool standing next to the Juggernaut Wave Deadpool, and it almost looks like the Juggernaut Wave Deadpool is standing a little bit taller. It kind of looks like maybe they used some different leg pieces because he's definitely a Bucky cap mold as far as his upper torso goes, but maybe there's something going on with the calves or something. I mean, it's definitely different design down there, so yeah, a little bit shorter. And here's Deadpool standing next to all the other figures in the wave that I've reviewed so far. All we have left is Domino and the Build-A-Figure Sasquatch. And that about does it for this review, guys. Have him in a pretty generic pose here because I'll be honest with you, the gummy joints that you get with him just make it, I don't know, kind of awkward to pose him. He doesn't seem to hold a lot of shapes very well. His hands, I didn't mention this, but his hands don't really hold his swords very well. And you know, the Bucky Cap mold isn't the best for agility poses. You know, they're more for kind of bulkier, I don't know, just beat 'em up poses. So yeah, I don't know. Overall, I'm glad that we got another Deadpool. That's cool and all. I just don't want to fall into a world where we get nothing but a bunch of repaints of the same figure. At least trying the different body mold that they did with the 90s Deadpool, I think, was a step in the right direction. And hopefully going forward, we see either that body mold being used more and just start to discontinue the classic Bucky Cap mold here, because, I don't know, it does seem to, as much as it's the same body mold, it does seem to vary from figure to figure. But anyway, guys, thanks again for stopping by and watching the video. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Trying to get myself up to at least 100 subscribers. And other than that, thanks for stopping by.